Welcome to the GCSE Maths Advantage. I'm Dr. James Carter, and every episode I'm going to break down one topic, show you where the marks are, and give you a quick win you can use in your next exam. Whether you're targeting a grade 7 or pushing for a 9, let's get into it.
Hook. This one type of question lost more marks than almost any other on last year's papers. Questions that ask you to work backwards from a price with VAT or a final discounted price. Students see a number like £240 and panic, when in fact the original price was just a simple division away. If you want to stop losing easy marks, stick with me.
That sounds familiar. I remember thinking, is this algebra or just shop maths? Promise, in the next few minutes I will focus on one topic, reverse percentages and successive percentage changes, and you will walk away with three things: a reproducible setup for back calculations, exactly what the examiner wants to see to award method marks, and a quick 2-line routine you can use in every practice question. Let's start with the concept.
The concept, first idea. Percentages are multiplicative. When a price is increased by 20%, you multiply by 1.20. When it is decreased by 20%, you multiply by 0.80. It's not additive. A 20% increase followed by a 20% decrease does not get you back to the start.
So when we see a final price and we need the original, we just divide by the factor. Is that the reverse?
Exactly. Reverse percentage means using the reciprocal of the multiplicative factor. Quick worked example. A jacket is sold with 20% VAT included and the sale price is £240. The forward factor for adding 20% is 1.20, so original price equals 240 divided by 1.20. That gives £200. Write it as an equation if you prefer. Original times 1.20 equals 240, so original equals 240 divided by 1.20.
That makes sense. I can picture the calculator button, divide by 1.2. But what about a tricky wording like was increased to?
Good question. We'll cover wording in the traps section. For now, another concept example, successive changes. If an item increases by 10%, then decreases by 20%, the overall multiplier is 1.10 multiplied by 0.80 equals 0.88. So the final price is 88% of the original, a 12% net decrease. Multiply the factors, don't add the percentages. Algebraic backing briefly. If original is x and we increase by p%, factor is 1 plus p over 100. If final amount is a, then a equals x multiplied by 1 plus p over 100. That reciprocal is the reliable method for any find the original question.
Could you show a 2-stage example with numbers so it all fits together?
Exam technique, marking breakdown. Let's walk through a typical 4-mark question. The price of a watch was reduced by 25% and then increased by 15%. The final price is £540. Find the original price. How do marks usually split? First mark, M1, you identify the correct method, setting up the equation. Original times 0.75 times 1.15 equals 540, or equivalent. Second mark, M1, you show the product of the factors, 0.75 times 1.15, and apply it to a variable or number. Third mark, M1, you perform the division to isolate the original. Original equals 540 divided by 0.75 times 1.15. Final mark, A1, correct numerical answer with appropriate rounding and currency. If you can't finish the arithmetic, you still get method marks for writing the equation and isolating the variable. Write those steps. The examiner wants to see the method. So even if the calculator gives us slightly different rounding, writing the setup gets you marks.
Yes, write the setup precisely. That often earns M1 or M2. Use equal signs and show the factor multiplication. Add a short note if you round. Answer correct to nearest penny or similar. Examiners are explicit about M, method, and A, accuracy marks. Your job is to show the method clearly so you can collect partial credit.
Let's map the wording to marks in that example. M1 for original multiplied by 0.75 multiplied by 1.15 equals 540, M1 for evaluating the combined factor or showing original equals 540 divided by 0.8625, M1 for doing the division or at least showing the expression for the original, and A1 for the final correct answer, £626.23, or whatever the accurate amount is. If you stop at 540 divided by 0.8625, you usually gain 2 or 3 method marks depending on how the mark scheme is written. Write it down, don't just think it.
Okay, now the quick win. I need something I can use in every question under time pressure.
Quick win. A 2-line routine you must practice until it becomes automatic. Line 1. Write the multiplicative factors in the order they happened, e.g. times 1.20 for 20% increase, times 0.80 for 20% decrease. Line 2, if you're asked for the original, take the reciprocal. Divide the final amount by the product of those factors. Then always substitute your answer back in, multiply your original by the forward factors, and check you get the given final number. That substitution takes 10 seconds and catches most mistakes.
Can you give a fast sanity check trick for successive percentage changes?
Yes, quick sanity check. If the percent increases and decreases are equal, you should end up lower than you started. For small percentages, add the increases and decreases in your head to estimate direction, but always trust the multiplier. Multiply the factors to estimate the net change. If your calculated original makes no sense, for example, the original is more than double the final when the changes were small, you made a slip. Do the substitution check. Forward factors times your result approximates given final. That's the 10-second habit. Don't skip the check.
Common traps and how to read questions. First trap, wording. Increased by 20% means multiply by 1.20. Is now 20% more than means final equals original times 1.20. Was increased to £120 tells you the final value is £120, so you reverse it. Always identify which number in the sentence is the final amount and which is the original. Second trap, percentage points versus percent. If a rate goes from 10% to 12%, that's an increase of 2 percentage points, which is a 20% relative increase. They are different. Exam questions that ask about percentage points usually relate to rates, not prices.
Any tips for time-pressured exams when you feel rushed?
Yes. Underline the final number in the question and write the factors on the left margin immediately. Do the algebraic setup even if you haven't finished the arithmetic. Examiners award method marks for a correct setup. Use 1 line for the factors and 1 line for the division. That keeps your work neat and helps you recover marks if you run out of time. Read the question twice. Solve it once. Recap. Percentages are multiplicative. Use factors. For reverse percentages, divide by the product of forward factors. Write the setup to secure method marks and always substitute back as a 10-second check. That's your quick win for today. If this helped, share it with a friend who's revising. You'll find more worked solutions and a downloadable cheat sheet at jcacademyonline.co.uk. Visit the site for a full guide with 50 worked examples and a printer-friendly 1-page routine you can pin above your desk. Until next time, trust the process and nail that exam. Stay curious.